Yeah, well, a lot of that money is actually going to New York, and that's one of the big themes of this whole bankruptcy case, is that so much of it was run out of New York, even though PG&E is a San Francisco firm. It is based here. They filed for Chapter 11 in San Francisco court, and and ultimately, this whole case was really about California fire survivors. So here we are with $700 million, primarily going to New York law firms, Wall Street investment bankers, and financial advisors. And it's upsetting to a lot of fire survivors and others who are watching this happen. I'll give you one example of a firm, one of a couple actually, that was representing PG&E against fire survivors and others in this case. Weil Gotshal, which is a well-known law firm in bankruptcy circles, they got $50 million, and we actually went through some of their line items. Their top lawyer, we found expenses where he charged $3,800 for round-trip economy airfare between New York and San Francisco. We found $900 nightly hotel expenses, and all the while, he was actually charging his hourly rate, which for him is $1,600. And so at a certain point, a court-appointed fee examiner got involved and said, we have to put some sort of controls in place. And that's exactly what they did. They were able to keep some of those costs down and negotiate some of these fees down on the order of about 7% in some cases, but ultimately, $700 million, that is quite a bit of money. Yeah, so one of the weird things about bankruptcy is if I'm a company filing for Chapter 11, I'm responsible not just for my own legal fees, but I'm also responsible for the legal fees of those who are basically negotiating against me in the bankruptcy. These committees each have lawyers. So the one that we were following the most closely was the Committee for Fire Survivors. Their lawyer is a firm called Baker Hostetler, which walked away with about $60 million in this bankruptcy. And not only that, they also had their own financial advisor, so you can add about $15 to $20 million right there, and a coterie of consultants. So, I think when we look back at this whole Chapter 11, process, a lot of people, including fire survivors, are wondering, was it worth it? Did they end up getting a good deal? And I think that question is really up for debate right now. The fire survivors ended up getting this deal that was very unique, even by bankruptcy standards, where their settlement was half cash and half stock. So think about that for a minute. This trust that was set up for fire survivors now owns 20% of the company, of PG&E. And as you know, you can't cash stock out overnight. You have to do it slowly, and you want to make sure you get a good price. So the process of taking that and basically converting it into money for fire survivors has taken a while. So as we sit here 6 months after this company got out of bankruptcy protection, most fire survivors haven't gotten a single dime.